Alright guys, quick tip here today on how to get more out of your lat pull downs. So a lot of people with longer arms like myself really struggle to get that deep lat stretch at the end of the rep because you can't adjust the seat on a lot of lat pull down machines like the Matrix one that you can see here on the screen. So you find yourself getting towards the end of the rep, and just before you get that deep lat stretch, or just before you can shrug your shoulders at the top of the rep to engage your scapula, the machine just bottoms out and prevents you from really going any further. So the reason this becomes a problem is because most of the research on gaining muscle seems to indicate that that stretch under the load you get, which is to say the stretch you get on your muscles while you're lifting weights, is indicative of greater hypertrophy gains, greater muscle gains. So while going 3/4 of the way up on your lat pull downs is still really good for making gains, if we can do something to prevent the machine from making us skimp out on that last part of the rep, we probably should do something. Fortunately, there are a few things we can do to help us eke out some more range of motion on our lat pull downs. And the main thing I'm going to talk about here is either sitting on something that puts us closer to the floor, just behind the seat of the lat pull down, or actually, if that isn't enough to get us a deep stretch in the back, to actually sit on the floor just behind the seat of the lat pull down machine to help us get more range of motion. So what you can see on the side of the screen here is I've put one of those Reebok step-up benches just behind the lat pull-down seat, and now when I sit on here and do the lat pull-downs, I can get a much deeper stretch in my back. This does slightly change the angle of the pull when you do this exercise though, because you're now sitting further away from the lat pull-down machine, so instead of it being almost completely vertical, it is slightly less vertical and a bit more slanted, the angle of the pull that is. For me, this doesn't really make much difference, and I still get a really good stretch in my lats and get a good pump in my back, so I keep doing it as it is. If you find this extra change of angle feels uncomfortable on your elbows or your shoulders, you might want to swap this exercise out in its entirety and do single arm cable pull downs while you're kneeling on a mat or something.